Kamala Harris held a rally in Detroit, Michigan last night, hoping to preserve what's left of the black vote, since many black people are thankfully finally fleeing the Democrat Party. And she brought out a big celebrity, pun intended, to help, singer Lizzo, who made perhaps the dumbest statement ever on a campaign trail.
I'm so proud to be from this city. You know, they say if Kamala wins, then the whole country will be like Detroit.
That's a comment that Donald Trump meant because obviously Detroit is a hellhole.
Okay? Proud like Detroit. Resilient like Detroit.
A complete ghetto like Detroit with one of the highest crime rates in the country. In fact, if you search YouTube for streets of Detroit, even with the massive algorithm manipulation, you just get a bunch of videos of people literally just driving around Detroit to show people how horrifying it is. It looks like scenes from The Walking Dead. The real streets of Detroit, Michigan, 2023. Detroit's real streets at night. You can tell from the thumbnail just how safe that neighborhood is. Detroit hoods at night. I mean, looks like a fantastic area. Oh, look at all these shorts. But Ratchet Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett has a theory about why so many inner cities are complete hellholes and crime-infested wastelands.
He said that we've got these cities and these towns that are being overrun by gangs and the crime.
She's complaining about Donald Trump, of course.
Out of control. I absolutely agree with that. And guess what? It's the MAGA gang. It is the white supremacists that have decided to descend upon places such as Springfield, Ohio. So I agree with him. I just disagree with who the problems are. The problems are him and his minions.
The high priests of Hollywood are all rallying behind Kamala now in the final few weeks before the election, like Ben Affleck's ex-wife, Jennifer Garner, who said perhaps the second most insane thing on a campaign trail.
Listen, I know you've knocked and knocked, and I know you've called and called. I know you've given and given, and you're worn out. But the truth is, you are the front lines. This is it. I mean, I'm looking at these beautiful faces.
Look at how scared she is.
These women and these strong men. God, is there anything sexier than a man who is like men for Kamala?
She's a comedian. Who knew? Here's one of those men for Kamala right here who joined her on stage last night in Detroit. Brace yourself because there's mega cringe coming in 3, 2.
Hey, how are y'all doing? All right. My name is Maxine Kirkpatrick. I am a born and bred Michigander, a fellow on the Michigan One campaign, and president of Students for Harris Walls at Wayne State University.
The president of Students for Harris Walls at Wayne State University. What a surprise! And this carbon-based life form has got to be the president of White Dudes for Harris.
Should you cut off contact with family members just because they are voting for Donald Trump?
This is not a meme, by the way. This is a real carbon-based life form. There's no like filter on there. This is how it presents itself to the world.
Yes. If so far they have not been able or willing to listen to compassion, to listen to kindness, to listen to you, or even to do their own research and discover that hatred's not the answer, that love and kindness is the answer, if they are unwilling to change, they must experience consequences. And you should not withhold those consequences from them. The consequence in this case would be they don't get your beautiful, loving, wonderful presence in their lives.
I would actually give anything to never have your presence in my life or anywhere near me. But unfortunately, these kinds of carbon-based life forms or demonic creatures are no longer just relegated to the Jerry Springer Show or Tumblr or TikTok. Now they, of course, are celebrated in all of the mainstream media and even welcomed and celebrated in the U.S. military.
The military be so silly with their rules.
The military be so silly with their rules. I have to translate this ghetto nonsense.
Like, why did I just get in trouble for having a pink lunchbox? And
why were you allowed in the military in the first place?
then I got in trouble for wearing lip gloss. Yeah. Yeah. And God forbid I wear some mascara.
God forbid an actual American soldier has to serve with this thing. And billionaire Mark Cuban, who apparently is transitioning into Rachel Maddow, has a theory about why no actual men support Kamala Harris.
Struggles with male voters for Kamala Harris. What do you think? How do you think that's shaping up? What are you hearing from people you talking about that?
Well, I mean, it's a social media thing. I mean, we live in a world of algorithms where you get reinforced what you're already looking at. And if you're a guy and you're looking at football, which leads to, something else, which leads to Donald Trump, it's not surprising. But I think the campaign is doing a good job of trying to overcome that with going out, but also getting on social and going where they are.
So he is blaming the algorithms for shifting people's feeds who pay attention to football to then leading them into Donald Trump's content, and that has brainwashed them into supporting him. And by the way, he made his money back in the late 90s with a lucky investment into a website, broadcast.com, which was later purchased for billions of dollars by Yahoo when they had unlimited money. And then they later shut it down because it was not profitable. And I don't think he's even increased his net worth by $1 ever since then, but he has been riding off of that lucky guess for the last 25 years as an expert investor. Hassan Piker, who is Chunk Yogurt's nephew from the Young Turks, is a very popular live streamer over on Twitch, twitch.tv, which is primarily for gamers, game streams, but a lot of people do talk politics over there as well, which is owned by Jeff Bezos and Amazon. Same with the Washington Post. He is a multi-millionaire who is propped up by that platform over there. And he is extremely concerned because he sees so many right-wingers online amongst the young actual men.
There is a massive amount of right-wing radicalization that has been occurring.
Oh, radicalization, meaning enlightenment.
Especially in younger male spaces. Everything is completely dominated by right-wing politics. If you're a dude under the age of 30 and you have any hobbies whatsoever, whether it's playing video games, whether it's working out, whether it's, I don't know, listening to like a history podcast or whatever, every single facet of that is just completely dominated by center-right to, I wouldn't say far-right in the same way that it was back in like the 2016 era at the end of like Obama's administration, but like definitely center-right to Trumpian right, like openly Trump right.
That's because social media is the new AM talk radio. AM talk radio has been dominated by conservatives since its inception. Liberals tried to get a platform there and nobody listened. Nobody cared. They got shut down. They went bankrupt. After the 2016 election, the New York Times complained that YouTube was the new talk radio. And we dominated back then because that was before the algorithm manipulation. And now, of course, channels like mine are shadow banned. Even if you're subscribed, you may not even get my content shown up in your homepage because, well, I have a visibility filter placed on my channel. So they allow me to exist, at least thankfully, but they don't like the channel to grow. Because who in their right mind these days watches CNN or MSNBC and listens to this?
Should never again stand behind
That's her repeating the same speech over and over again at every campaign stop about how they must never again allow Donald Trump to stand behind the seal of the President of the United States. Donald Trump is also hitting the campaign trail very hard in these final few weeks, and here he was in Pennsylvania yesterday.
So you have to tell Kamala Harris that you've had enough, that you just can't take it anymore. We can't stand you. You're a vice president. The worst. You're the worst vice president. Kamala, you're fired. Get the hell out of here. You're fired. Get out of here.
That's right, sir. Hey, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're new here and check back on a regular basis. And if you're a regular subscriber, please share links to my videos on your social media accounts and encourage other people to come and subscribe because we're going to have to bypass YouTube's visibility filter or their shadow ban manually. So thanks for all your support. Stay tuned, and I will see you soon.